In our last video, we were in the historic town of St. Augustine. St. Augustine is the United States' oldest city. It was fun checking out the historic buildings, the old neighborhoods, learning about the Freedom Trail, and Lincolnville. In this video,
we're in Palatka, Florida.
For context, we were in Palatka in late February of 2024.
Palatka is the Seminole term for crossing over or cows crossing. It got this name because it was the southernmost point on the river that ships headed out to the ocean could reach, and here we are along the St. Johns River. Ahead you see the Memorial Bridge, which takes you from Palatka to East Palatka.
Our tour begins in Riverfront Park, adjacent to downtown and right along the St. Johns River.
Today we're in Palatka. It's about 30 miles from St. Augustine, so we were in St. Augustine for the weekend and we're headed back home, decided to stop here. This city sits right along the St. John River. We're excited to see their downtown. While settlements in this area go back to the 1600s, Palatka itself was incorporated in 1853. It has a current population of about 10,500, although the metropolitan area is about 73,000. Throughout this video, you'll see a lot of murals downtown. These are sponsored by the Conley-Snyder Mural Committee, which was established in 1998. I really encourage you to go to their website. They have an entire mural tour. You can actually print out the map and take it with you. And there's an audio tour where you can click on a specific mural and hear a brief summary about it. This is part of the Florida Trail of Murals. Hotel James was built in 1916 and served as a hotel till 1984. It was completely abandoned in 1992, but in 2019 it was added to the National Register of Historic Places. When it was in its prime, there were storefronts on the first floor with rooms on the second and third floors. In 2019, they began renovation as a boutique hotel. It appears it changed hands in 2021, but according to the website, it is still undergoing renovation.
Yeah, in our travels, we've noticed that either a hotel or perhaps a theater have been sort of the cornerstone of the downtown revitalization. So it's awesome to see that this is true for Palatka as well.
After the Civil War, Palatka really thrived. It was a river port as well as a winter resort area. The railroad came in and this area just thrived under tourism, lumber, and the citrus business. Unfortunately, the city had a devastating fire in November of 1884, so that winter when tourists arrived, they found no accommodations and they continued on the train south. That really began the decline in tourism for the area. After the fire, they rebuilt much of downtown in brick, and you see a lot of these brick buildings now. And a significant amount of the original brick roads still exist as well.
So if you're watching this and wondering where are all the people, so are we. This is actually a Monday morning, about 10 o'clock, and presumably that's when downtown should come alive. In our observation, this seems to be a downtown in transition. There were still a lot of empty storefronts, although there's obviously signs of life and some gentrification going on as well. So my guess is these slower mornings aren't going to be a thing that lasts too much longer.
While this was a quiet time, Palatka is home to 3 big festivals each year. Every March, they hold the annual Azalea Festival, which lasts 2 days, and this goes all the way back to 1938. It includes a parade, arts and crafts, a pageant, a car show, a golf tournament, and a bowling tournament. Then they have the Blue Crab Fest, which is every May on Memorial Day weekend, and it's a 3-day event with music, vendors, food, activities that dates back more than 30 years. And finally, there's the Mug Race, which is an annual sailing race that dates back to 1954. It goes along the St. Johns River from Palatka to Jacksonville, and it's billed as the world's longest river race, running 38.5 miles.
As per our usual protocol, we approached Palatka without any kind of plan. We just kept walking along the main street to see what we'd find. Doing no research ahead of time is a double-edged sword. Sometimes we miss some really cool things and it turns out we were just a block or 2 away. In this case, what was really neat was learning about all the murals, which Caroline already addressed earlier in the video. It was really incredible how many murals are in this downtown.
Here's an example of those brick streets that I mentioned earlier. This mural commemorates the Mary Lawson Hospital, which opened in 1918 as an African American hospital. In 1922, it was integrated and served patients until 1958. And there you see right next door, Mary Lawson and family also opened the first Black funeral home in Palatka, which is still in operation.
Yeah, on that note, Palatka is actually a even mix between African Americans and whites, both being around 48% of the population. I think that may be the first time we've encountered that in our travels. One thing about the murals in wall arts is it's kind of random. This one commemorates the passing of John Lennon. One we're looking at now obviously harkens back to its more cowboy days, which is something I never really associate so much with Florida, but actually is very much a part of Florida's history. And as we've learned from other videos, Florida is still somewhat of the horse capital of the United States. After checking out this last mural, it was time to head back in the same direction from which we came. So now we can see what it looks like from the opposite side of the street.
Okay, we've gone down one side of the street through downtown and we're coming back on the other so you can see both sides. We've been pleasantly surprised with how many murals on the sides of the buildings. It's really great.
When you're exploring these old downtowns, it's actually a pretty good idea to check it out from both sides of the street. Sometimes the signage is so far up above you that you don't even see it from the side of the street you're currently on. So it was actually a really smart idea to see it from the opposite side. It was almost like being on a different street. And equally as important, don't forget to check out the side streets and the alleyways. Sometimes you'll find the coolest things in the places you can't necessarily see from the main road.
This old Coca-Cola bottling plant dates back to the 1930s, and it looks a lot like the Coca-Cola bottling plants in our other videos, including Lakeland. It is now home to the Azalea City Brewing Company.
So my streak of finding a craft brewer was alive and well, but unfortunately it was not open during the hours that we were there visiting.
I really liked this one because they integrated a 3D look to the side of the building. From a distance, it actually looks like a real balcony and staircase. Here's a better view of Hotel James from across the street. This is the one we talked about earlier that's being renovated. Palatka played a role in the U.S. Civil War. That's depicted here. The Columbine boat was a Union boat, and this depicts the historic battle which occurred in May of 1864. Although it only lasted 45 minutes, the people of Palatka were able to sink this Union ship.
At this point, we decided we wanted to check out some more of the waterfront, so we started heading in that direction. Alright, at this point we've been, about a little over an hour. We've explored one side of the highway pretty thoroughly, and we think that's the main part of the downtown, but it's going by pretty quick. It's small, so we're gonna go check out the other side and see what we can find. So hope you're enjoying this as much as we are. This is a cool little town. So spoiler alert here, I'm really glad we decided to check out this side of the highway.
Yeah, this side of the highway turns out was the Palatka North Historic District with 76 historic buildings, starting with this one, St. Mark's Episcopal Church. It was founded in 1854, and while we were looking at it, someone working there offered to let us see the inside, which was really great.
Yeah, really kudos to this guy who decided to let us in. According to him, the stained glass in this church was the first in any church in Florida, which I have no way of verifying that's true or not, but if that is the case, it was really great that we got to see it from the inside. So after checking out the church, he recommended that we check out some of the historical houses in this neighborhood. So that's what we did. I always feel a little weird about taking video of people's homes, but in this case, man, I could not resist. These homes look like you've stepped back about 200 years. They really were incredible. And to be fair, there was a placard that we came across somewhere that actually pointed out all of these homes, so it's almost like they're inviting you to come and take pictures.
This sign references Reed's Garden, which is a historic neighborhood dating back to the 1840s. It was named for R.R. Reed, who was the head of a mercantile company and son of the Florida territorial governor. The Bronson Mulholland House was built in 1854 and put on the National Register of Historic Places in 1972. Originally, it was the home to Judge Bronson, who really helped with the city charter and the development of Palatka. It is maintained and run by the Putnam County Historical Society. The Society also maintains this building, which sits right next door and houses the Putnam Historic Museum. This was built in 1838 and is reportedly the oldest surviving structure in Palatka. It was built as officers' quarters for officers stationed at Fort Shannon.
At this point in the video, we wanted to check out some of the homes along the waterfront so we could complete the loop. So full disclosure, neither Caroline and I had ever heard of this town. We happened to spend the weekend in St. Augustine, and we just looked at a map to see if there was something we could check out on our way back home. This is such a perfect example of why you don't always have to go to the tourist places to have a good time. This was a great surprise, and we both very much enjoyed our few hours here. So with that said, it's time to wrap this up. All right, what'd you think of Palatka?
Palatka was quite a surprise, never heard of it. What's interesting is there's still businesses downtown, but there are a lot of empty storefronts. I think there's great potential here, and I think the gem is gonna be when they finish restoring the St. John's Hotel, which it says they're gonna do, so I think that'll be really great.
Yeah, this is a really cool old town. Of course, it's next to the oldest city in America, so its age doesn't surprise me too much, but it's downtown, has such potential. It's such a cute downtown, and this thing sits right on the water, and I'm so glad we crossed the street because this historical district is absolutely fantastic.
Amazing.
So this gets a huge thumbs up for me.
I completely agree.
All right, get off the couch. We'll see you next time.
Cheers.